I'm not even talking about a protest. Let's talk about a concert. Let's talk about any kind of open venue. You have 400,000 people taking live video of everything around them. You have 50 satellites up in the air, just, Google Earth, call it whatever you will, seeing what's going on. It's public space anyways. You have film crews there, you have news, you have everybody else. Any kind of public event, there is so much data being collected on people anyways, that when somebody says like, oh my gosh, the drones are spying on people. Actually, you're spying on yourself when you're taking your camera over everybody. So I don't get it. I guess there's real concerns there, but I think they're kind of just stupid, to be honest. But I don't know. So I don't know. What's your take on that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I get that sentiment for sure. I do feel as, ex-cop working for the government, we do have a responsibility to be transparent. The data that the government gets isn't like the data that citizens or private sector gets.
Fair enough.
There's there's a fear that there's an incrementalness about things that we, that's reality. So we do need to be certainly respectful of those fears, even though I think, like you say, some of it's because of the unknown of what drones are. It's a new fascinating technology. There's a lot of movies that show drones that sort of do, drones being used to, equipped with weapons and being used to like prevent the hero from escaping, right? So I definitely get that sentiment. And I think when the public is exposed to what drones do and how they do it, every time I see they're very supportive. As long as we in the law enforcement, public safety, emergency management remain transparent, use it in the right way, definitely share the successes so that if people say we don't want drones, they know at what cost that comes. That is a huge win for the drone industry. And so I think transparency through and through is, we're responsibility to protect people's privacy, but we also have a responsibility to show how these things are being used to save lives. In the old days, quote unquote, you'd have to get to a position to be able to see the crowd, right? You can't do that if you're standing on the ground at the same level. So you had people getting up on rooftops and stuff and just being able to like see what's going on, because if someone's getting hurt in the center of a crowd, how are you going to see that if you're on the outside edge, look at standing at ground level? If there's threats to the crowd where they may be approaching cars, and we've seen what has happened with cars running into crowds. So I know there's concern from crowds who are doing lawful protests that drones are there to spy on them or surveil them. But every public safety agency I talk to there's a responsibility they have to protect that crowd. And you can't do it just by reacting to what's going on. You have to get to a position where you can see the crowd, you can see what's going on, you can see approaching threats, you can see areas where the crowd is heading, so you can stop traffic and cordon off any kind of incoming threats to them. So you'd be irresponsible really not to have sort of an overwatch position on these crowds. You owe it to the crowd to understand you're responsible for protecting them, so you got to understand what's happening and be able to manage resources. It's kind of a team effort, much like it'd be hard for a coach to know what's going on without sort of game day film, that top down look at it. This team as a handle the situation, and that's the same with crowd control.